Big matchup of Stafford County 5A powers this past weekend. An undefeated Mountain View team taking on a 5-1 Brooke Point. Taft, I know you were at this game. Brooke Point coming away with a 29-21 victory.
Yes, a very impressive performance by Brooke Point, and what some people call the biggest game around the entire state last week, with major 5A North implications in the playoffs.
Yeah. We were talking a little bit during the show prep. You were very impressed with the physicality that Brooke Point demonstrated.
Yes, they were definitely the more physical team in this game. I spoke with Coach Tommy Buzzo after the game, and he said he challenged his team prior to the North Stafford game 2 weeks ago to become more physical. He thought that North Stafford was going to be a more physical team than them, and they overpowered North Stafford. Then they came and followed it up the next week with another overpowering performance against Mountain View.
And two big, not just county, division games, but also in the 5A. So lots of playoff implications, lots of rivalry implications here. So Brooke Point obviously on a big run. Speaking of running, Damone Drew carried the ball 25 times, 242 yards rushing, and 2 scores. Impressed by this running back here.
Yeah, he's definitely. After this game, I could definitely see why the University of Virginia offered him a scholarship. I mean, he showed the speed that everybody knew he had from track, but then he showed some power. I mean, like Coach Sorrentino said after the game, he can take a 6-yard run and turn it into a 60-yard run. So, pretty impressive young man.
No doubt, no doubt. Now, Brock Carnes, the Brooke Point quarterback, also very efficient. 14 of 20 passing the ball, 192 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, you said the key word there with Brock Carnes. It's efficient. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He did throw 1 interception in this game, but typically he's not a guy that's going to hurt you, and he can hit you with the big play. They have a couple of weapons with Benyel Hill and also Kareem Burgess, a big play weapon. So a lot of focus on Drew with that team, but don't sleep on the targets for Brock Carnes in that passing game.
So a huge win for Brooke Point. They have navigated nicely through a couple of weeks worth of very rocky waters here and come away unscathed. So kudos to the Blackhawks for that. Mountain View suffers their first loss. A fairly impressive offensive performance, not up to the standards that the Freelance Star wrote about in the Friday feature. We won't talk about that, Jinx. Jamil Collison-Cofie, 26 carries, 121 yards rushing. He did have a touchdown on the ground. Also 6 catches and 86 yards receiving. Ahmad Tweedy also fairly effective, 16 of 26 throwing the ball, 174 yards and 2 touchdowns passing. Yeah. Were they just not able to get things together? Only 21 points on the board from Mountain View. What do you think offensively? Was it the Brooke Point defense that just stymied them?
Well, Mountain View, like you said, they came into this game averaging about 45 points per game, and the offense had been really explosive. What Brooke Point did, they limited the big plays. They made them work for everything. They really held Ahmad Tweedy in check with the running game, and made Jamil Collison-Cofie work for everything that he got, and pretty much a very collective, strong effort defensively by Brooke Point, more than any shortcomings by Mountain View.
Well, wonderful performance by Brooke Point. I should point out Justin Rice is not here this week. It may be a little bit suspect. Justin gave me grief about last week, suggesting that Mountain View was the stronger team here. I predicted a Mountain View win. Shows how much I know. That's the way it goes. But and these Blackhawks move to 6-1 on the season. Mountain View drops to 6-1. Well, we've got a number of teams. We were talking about this also in terms of voting for the top 5. There are now 6 teams in the area that are 6-1 or better. There's one that's still undefeated. So some impressive play from Fredericksburg area high school team.
Yeah, and it should be mentioned that was Brooke Point's 6th straight win. They opened the season with that 3-point loss to Ford. Right. So they're on quite a roll.
They're on absolutely a roll. Congratulations to Brooke Point.